This morning, the FDA is holding their meeting on Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine candidate to allow emergency use authorization for practitioners to administer. The panel's hearing began at 9 a.m. this morning, and if the vaccine is approved, it will become the first to earn the FDA's authorization. So joining me now with more on today's big decision is healthcare analyst Seth Denson. Good morning, Seth. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
And they are actually streaming the proceedings online, so we have those up going as well. Now, I mean, Canada approved it yesterday. It's already being administered in the UK. Is there really any reason for us to think that this won't happen today?
No, I don't expect that there's anything that will come out of today that will prevent the vaccine from distribution. I think all expectations are that this will go relatively smoothly. The FDA is just taking their time. And I've stated this a number of times, we get one chance to get this right. And so the FDA, which has been long known to be very specific in their processes, is taking their time here. And so while we are a couple days behind maybe other nations, I think it's very important that they do their due diligence.
Okay, so this is a 17-member committee. It's all independent. There's no political appointees here. What kind of things are they going to be looking for today? And I think one of the things many people are thinking is, okay, what about that allergic reaction that the UK reported? Is there going to be discussion around that?
I have to think that that's going to come up, if for nothing else, just to make sure it's part of the record, then they've got to discuss the why. Listen, as is well known, this vaccine has come to the market ready for distribution well ahead of any previous vaccine in known history. And so the FDA is going to literally be dotting every I and crossing every T on this. They are going to look under every piece of information. This is an independent group of epidemiologists and virologists, and quite frankly, the best in the world at taking a look and making sure this is done right.
So, Seth, I know they say that they have, compressed the process, yet at the same time, they haven't cut any corners. How do you do that?
Well, you put all of your attention on this first and foremost. And so right now, let's say in a non-COVID world, you would have quite literally dozens of new drugs being presented to the FDA for distribution, and that has just not been happening. This year, all eyes, all focus, all energy, and all efforts have been on a vaccine. And so that's how they're able to press forward and get it done so quickly.
So I know they're going for emergency use authorization versus full approval. What's the difference there?
Well, the difference is that the Health and Human Services compiles a group called the Data Safety Monitoring Board, very similar to the group that's meeting today. These are epidemiologists and virologists that are going to look through this. What it is it's emergency use because it doesn't have to go through all of the clinical trial processes that a normal vaccine would just to get it into the public's hands faster.
Now, do you think that they're going to say, okay, yeah, we can administer it, but it has to be under these guidelines, like it's this age group, 16 and older, I think that's what it is for Canada, or like now the UK is saying, anybody with severe allergic reactions don't get the vaccine?
Yeah, it's likely that the FDA will give some guidance. Obviously, they're going to focus on the most vulnerable and our frontline healthcare workers first. As they've done throughout this entire process, as we saw with testing, there were specific characteristics that were required before testing was provided. Now, pretty much anybody can get a test. I think the same thing will happen with the vaccine.
So what about distribution? How do you think this is really going to play out here?
Well, this is the bigger challenge. It's not as big of a challenge for the U.S. as it is for the rest of the world, but Pfizer's specific vaccine has to be kept at ultra cold. That's 95 degrees Fahrenheit below zero. That's colder than Antarctica on an average day. And so it has to be kept in specific freezers. In the United States, there are 64 jurisdictions for vaccination that they are equipping for this. That's why the Moderna vaccine will be very important, and also the AstraZeneca, because the AstraZeneca vaccine can actually be kept in a refrigerator.
What about consumer confidence, basically? There's been a lot of talk. I know there's a lot of misinformation out there regarding the vaccine. How do you go about battling that?
Well, that is a big challenge. And when we infuse politics into it, which we tend to do here in the United States, it makes it even a greater challenge. We need our leaders to come together. And I was really proud to see former Presidents Bush, Clinton, and Obama come together and say, hey, we'll air this live. We will take this vaccine. I think the more of our leaders and influencers that can step up and say, we trust the FDA on this and we're going to take this vaccine, I think that's better.
As a healthcare expert, would you be first in line to get it?
Well, I wouldn't be first in line because I don't have any of the underlying
When you
conditions.
can get it.
That need it first, but I would take it, yes.
That's what I mean. All right, Seth, you know what? I sure appreciate your insights. Really helpful.
Thank you.
Stay healthy and well.